Beep, 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 beep. Welcome to the court of the Edijester. How are we doing, good peeps? Good to be speaking with you once again and continuing my series on UKRI, the United Kingdom's Research and Innovation Fund, and their Equality, Diversity and Inclusion panel, and their work towards taking all our public money to spend on nonsense, EDI and DEI cult behaviours. So we've already done a couple. We've done Jessica Corner, who is a sort of like one of the senior management up at the top of UKRI, and Dr. Aaron Verma, who I've already looked at with you yesterday. So today we're going to take a look at another one. Right? So, who have we got today? Well, today, ladies and germs, I want to introduce you to Dr. Lexi Webster. Now, here's Dr. Lexi Webster. See, Dr. Lexi Webster is also involved in the EDI and DEI rollout and is therefore attached to the 7.9 billion or 8 billion pot of public money that is used as a social economic stimulus and also to fund research, for example, in nuclear arts. So usual stuff. I hope you're keeping up. If you haven't watched the others, then please do go and do so. Share, like, the usual stuff. Buy me a coffee, but come be a warrior teacher. Come and join the fight. The team will be growing, and we've got to start in October of this year, by the look of it. So, yeah, please do. Here we go. So this is Lexi. Hello, Lexi. And Lexi is an associate professor of digital culture and deputy director of digital humanities at the University of Southampton. We're in now. I am also the research lead for the Southampton Institute for Arts and Humanities with the theme of culture, trust, and technology. Broadly speaking, my research focuses on explaining and critiquing the cognitive and discursive. Here we go. The cognitive and discursive processes that underpin how we interpret our lived experience. Oh my goodness, we're 4 lines in. 4 lines in, and we've already got the cult speak. Our lived experience influence how we position ourselves in relationships to one another. So this is positionality and structure at the way we go in the world. The way we go in the world. Really? Go. I wish you would go. Whilst my primary disciplinary training is in linguistics, my work is more comfortably situated at the interdisciplinary intersections of digital media, sociology, and gender and sexuality studies. Right, so you're a grievance minor. Is that what it is, Lexi? Is it? Grievance minor. Through my work, I pursue a critical agenda for deconstructing social inequities. So, in other words, she's an equity pusher. Envisioning futures for human flourishing and considering feasible ways of co-creating these futures. This is the textbook critical social justice. That's what it is. Human flourishing. So it's about power and oppression. Yeah. For the most part, my expertise has been predicated on critiquing the mediatization. The mediatization of transgender politics and the politicization of transgender recognition. Has it? What for? Here we go. Beyond this, I have worked on the development and application of novel methods for corpus-driven linguistics, media, and psychology research. Most recently, I have developed interdisciplinary projects that engage critical arts, humanities, and social science, thinking with technological advancements for the design of enhanced futures. Right. Okay, so word salad to start. What can I get you for the main course? Yep. Hey, what can I get you? Well, let's find out a bit more. It says here that she's got several editorial positions. She's the joint editor-in-chief of Gender and Language. She's the associate editor of Cambridge Elements in Cognitive Linguistics, series editor for Data and Research Literacy, series editor for Diversifying and Decolonizing Research. Here we go, whole enchilada. Series editor for Doing Research Online. I am also a member of the UKRI Talent Peer Review College, the Economic and Social Research Council, that's the ESRC, Peer Review College, and the Arts and Humanities Research Council, Peer Review College. Across grant applications, journals and monographs, my peer review and editorial experience and expertise spans computer science, cultural studies, economics, gender, sexuality studies, linguistics, literary studies, media studies, neuroscience, psychology, political science, and sociology. Right, okay. I am recognised as a senior fellow of the Higher Education Academy. That's Advance HE. There we go again. Advance HE. What's going on with them then, eh? She's currently monitoring college, applying for descriptors 1 to 3, and contribute to the university's assessment of applications via the Professional Recognition of Educator Practice, or PrEP program. Right? Okay, so yeah, fingers in pies as usual, and quite a lot of them by the sound of it. So what's her experience? Let's take a look. Well, we've got here University of Southampton. She's been there for 2 years and 10 months. Began as the Deputy Director of Digital Humanities and then became Associate Professor of Digital Culture. Also, yeah, all good so far. Oh my gosh. Prior to that, for 3 years and 6 months, she worked in Manchester at the Indigo Gender Service. The Indigo Gender Service, part of the pipeline for trans, right? Indigo Gender Service, absolutely unbelievable. It was established by the LGBT Foundation, a national charity, launched in December 2020. It offers an innovative model of trans healthcare, which is based in primary care. Integrated clinical services are delivered by GPs who are trained in trans healthcare from practices across Manchester, with additional services being delivered in community settings. So she's right. She was there right at the very beginning of the Manchester introduction of the Indigo Gender Service. She was there and is responsible for pushing this nonsense forward on young gays and lesbians. There you go. Right. Okay. Fine. What the hell is UKRI doing? What the hell are UKRI playing at? What are they playing at? Before that, she did horror studies. Now, I'd love to talk to her about this. I can get behind this. Scary monsters and super creeps, critiquing representations of women through the 1980s in Fangoria magazine. Now, for those of you not in the know, Fangoria magazine, used to love it when I was a kid. Well, round about that time, was all about horror movies. It was great. It used to come out every month. I used to go to town and get it, and it was just something I'd sit and read. And this could be interesting but it's parlor trick stuff, right? It's not got any serious application, but it's a very interesting to look at the treatment of representation of women in the 1980s in Fangoria magazine, because at that time we had lots of heroines. You have these horror films where somebody called Jason or Michael would chop your bits off. Oh God, that resonates. Would chop your bits off, and then but the one who would kill the killer was often a woman, powerful woman. Such critiques are primarily based on analysis of the women on screen as seen through the gaze of characters, creators, and imagined audience. So this is fairy tale stuff. Fairy tale stuff. That was in December 2022. And then there's a publication called How to Research Gender Online. This guide offers specific suggestions and guidance for disambiguating gender from other related concepts and research questions. Identifying gender in online data collection methods. Give me a break, right? Give me a break. Moving on, we then have some of her work here from September the 6th, 2021. Erase Rewind, How Transgender Twitter Discourses Challenge and Repoliticize Lesbian Identities. Get this. Competing views on the incompatibility or compatibility of transgender status and lesbian identity is a source of conflict in the ongoing antagonism over transgender recognition. In other words, what she's saying here is, oh gosh, isn't it terrible that men can't pretend to be lesbians? That's what she's saying. Many individuals she's at the top of UKRI, influencing the senior management. Many individuals with different transgender identities might lay claim to lesbian identity or lesbian discourse more generally. However, this inclusion has been disputed in some circles insofar as it's seen to challenge or contradict characteristics of lesbianism. In other words, she's complicating the term. This is what they do. They complicate the simplistic and they simplify the complicated. That's what they do, right? So she's contradicting the characteristics of lesbianism, which is essentially that you have to be a woman and you have to be attracted to women, i.e. not a bloke in a dress, cock and a frock, or no cock and a frock, whatever it may be, right? Given that social media platforms concentrate minority communities in one space and can serve to exacerbate antagonism over identities, I focus in this paper specifically on the Twitter context. This paper uses corpus-informed critical discourse studies to explore how cognitive models of lesbianism are articulated in transgender Twitter discourses. Findings indicate that transgender Twitter users re-articulate socio-historical narratives in lesbian discourses. I mean, and articulate. So there's, the brackets around re, which you can see there. This is all about creating antagonistic situations. At the same time, however, they also challenge and repoliticize the essentialism of sex and gender. So in other words, she doesn't believe that sex is essential. It is essential. Of course it is. We're born the sex we are. And it's in relation to lesbian identity and social practice. That being a lesbian isn't an identity, it's a fact. Right? Hence, transgender Twitter discourse reflect potential explanations for contesting trans inclusion in lesbianism, which may serve to reinforce trans exclusionary claims for retaining lesbians' uniqueness as a female space and experience. You know what, Lexi? Get in the bloody bin, you raving homophobe. Next. Am I wrong? I'd love to talk to her about Fangoria, but am I wrong? Am I wrong? Or is, the idea that lesbianism isn't just two females is homophobic, isn't it? It's you haven't met the right boy yet. Or if in my case, being gay, I haven't met the right girl. Then we have more from her. I, self-constructed transgender identities in internet-mediated forum communication. I want to be a toy. Self-sexualization in gender variant Twitter users' biographies. I mean, for the love of God. What is this? What is it? Look at the bottom one. That's my favourite. We are detective. Transvestigations, conspiracy and inauthenticity in gender critical, in speech marks, social media discourse. Why is this person advising UKRI? Why? I want to be a toy, right? So let's just take a look at this. The paradigmatic transgender woman is often negatively over-sexualized. What are you talking about? Pornographized and fetishized in mainstream conceptualization and discourses. While self-sexualization, does she mean wanking, by transgender individuals is often portrayed as sex-positive social phenomenon. Is it? By whom? By whom? They're cross-dressers doing it fetish and paraphilia. However, little research has been conducted that analyzes the self-sexualization strategies of the multiple instantiations of gender variant identity, including trans-masculine and non-binary social actors. It's like, here, Lexi, what do you have for breakfast? The Judith Butler Guide to Talking Bullshit. With milk. This paper uses a corpus-informed socio-cognitive approach to critical discourse. Why aren't the universities kicking these people out? Why aren't they kicking them out? Oh, for God's sake. To identify differences between the self-sexualization strategies and underpinning cognitive models of different gender variant user groups on Twitter. 2,565 users are coded into 5 categories: trans-feminine, trans-masculine, transsexual, transvestite, non-binary. Findings show that transvestite and transsexual identifying users most closely fit the pornographized and fetishized conceptualization, whilst non-binary users are the least self-sexualizing user group. Right, okay. Why? Why does this exist? Right, why does this exist? So there we go, look, EDI Expert Advisory Group. There you have it, as they say. And there's Dr. Aaron Vermer at the bottom and Dr. Lexi Webster, as you can see there. The list continues. There's a longer list, and we're going to do more of them. And then we've also got this from Lexi, who was a keynote speaker at the University of Southampton. Whilst my primary disciplinary background is in linguistics, my work most comfortably positioned at the interdisciplinary intersection of digital media, communication, gender and sexuality studies. Honest to God, why are universities having these people continue to do what they're doing? Right? 7.9 billion of money. The senior management of UKRI. These people. Serious questions need to be asked about what's going on, because they're about to push EDI and DEI and all this unbelievable critical social justice nonsense, trans, queer, critical race theory, decolonization, right into the heart of science and right across every single discipline, and therefore into every single strand of employment, of organizational structure, and then onwards to individuals. Have we won? You tell me. All right, give us some comments. Let me know what you think. Get in the bin, Lexi. Honest to God. Hopeless. But I'd like to talk to you about Fangoria. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.